Hey guys, Huz here, bringing you another video. This time another episode of League Discussion. Now this is the ELO Hell video that I've been wanting to do for a while, but because of health issues and stuff alike, I've been waiting for me to be quite good health and have free time to do this video. Now, just so most of you know, I just want to say a few things at the start, and I've also got a couple of announcements. Right at the start, I just want to say these League Discussion videos are not scripted. I do not script them. This is the top of my head, giving my raw opinion about the subject, and that's why I feel it's, I don't know, I feel it's a good thing. I don't want to script something that is opinion. I'd rather you just hear the emotion and the opinion of it, and you can take it, and it's more genuine, in my opinion. Now, the couple of announcements I want to give is my Smurf is level 29, nearly level, or getting to level 30. So within the new year, definitely in the new year, because I'm a bit busy right now, there will be the series of how to carry low ELO games, and that won't just be showing off a high ELO Diamond 1 player playing in low ELO crushing. I'm actually going to be explaining what I'm doing. And there'll be a separate video about that, like as a preview to the series, asking you guys questions of what you actually want to see, so expect that within the next, I don't know, 2 weeks or so around Christmas. The next little announcement before we get into ELO Hell is I will actually be giving away a HearthStone beta key. I've got my hands on my 6th one, I believe, and although I've been giving them out mainly to friends and people alike, I've actually got no more friends to give, sadly. They've all got in. So I'll be giving this one out. I'm not exactly how or sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll be updating most likely on Facebook and Anook how I'm going to give it out, whether it's just going to be on there or it's going to be on stream. So make sure you follow me on them to be updated of how you can have the chance to win the Hearthstone beta key. So follow me on Anook and Facebook. So now getting into the league discussion of ELO Hell. ELO Hell is a subject that has plagued players for the past, I'd say, 2 years. In Season 1, ELO Hell never really existed. Nobody really complained that much. Sure, there was toxic players, there was feeders, there was trolls. That's always happened, and that will happen in the history of computer games forever. But ELO Hell has basically come about since League has become big, since we've got streamers. Streamers make a big part of why ELO Hell exists. Now, ELO Hell, I'll get into why the streamers do in a minute, but ELO Hell is basically an idea behind, a con of why people believe that they should be higher than they are. Whether it be, my team is holding me back, I always get that feeder on my team, I always get that troll, I always get that AFKer. And for some reason, whoever claims this, always think that they're the only person in the world suffering from this. The only one that has never got past a stage of rating. Now, one thing I have to point out is every single high ELO player, or majority, I'm not going to say every, because some people do climb extremely quick, even if they're new to the game. So I'm going to say majority of high ELO players, this includes myself being Diamond 1 right now, has experienced low ELO content, has experienced bronze or silver or gold, you could probably count as relatively low. And we've got through it. So if we've got through it, then you cannot make the excuse of that it's impossible. I've heard many people say, I mean, ELO Hell, it's impossible for me to get up. It's never impossible if you're good enough. And this video, and I have to say, there's going to be some moments that if you are in this bracket that may believe in it, you may get slightly offended, and I don't wish you to get offended, but sometimes the harsh truth is the best truth, and that's what I find with anything in life, really. So basically, a lot of people who are relatively bad at the game cannot admit that. For whatever reason, I have never experienced anything like it in life. I've been someone that has played a high level of sport and low level of sport throughout my life, and I've never ever had experience in sport where someone who was bad at the game said they're the best and said, oh no, it's just you guys that are holding me back. That just doesn't happen. But on League, it does. Every single game, there is somebody on each team, or one person in the game at least, will be thinking, God, I'm so good at this game and my team are just not performing very well, and they could be like 2 and 5. It's just not logical. If you're that guy, please stop. It's not worth it. You just frustrate others. But the big thing is, if you admit that you're bad at the game and you could improve, you can move on. You can look at your mistakes and improve on them rather than just make up false mistakes. Rather than saying, my team is really bad, Although I've tower dived 2 times and died and got nothing out of it, my team is bad. It's not me. Although, yeah, that bit was you. Accept your own mistakes. Don't always blame others. Solo queue is solo queue. If you want to go complain about teams, go do pre-made, because then you have a legitimate thing to say. God, my team needs to improve, because they're your team. Solo queue, we're all individuals. That's the problem with solo queue. That's why some people think it's hard, but it is actually quite easy. Solo queue is all about of how well you can communicate with random people. And if you are someone that rages, flames, trolls, etc., you are breaking the communication between you and your team. You're breaking the boundaries of trust. You're breaking the boundaries of just fundamental solo queue. And that's probably why you're going to lose. A winning team in solo queue is a communicating team. And that is one thing of ELO Hell. You find that the lower ELO you go, and this is just a correlation here, it's not ELO Hell, it's just a correlation of the lower ELO you go. So if you end up in Bronze 5, or just anywhere in Bronze or Silver, there'll be very little communication in the game. People will not be saying that, oh, I want to do Dragon then. Now this, I must admit, rarely happens in Diamond, but it does happen, that's the difference. People won't be saying, right, I'm going to do this, this and this, or, you know, a lot of people just use pings nowadays. It doesn't happen now. If you notice my commentaries or other videos that, you know, I'm playing with others, there's pings going on all the time. The chat box is nearly always full. Now, I understand some people don't pay attention to chat in League of Legends, but everybody pays attention to pings, and that's communication. And the lower ELO you go, the less communication there is. And as I've said before, that is not a coincidence. That is a direct correlation of low ELO. And that is a mistake many people make. That ELO is a low ELO thing, and isn't it just obvious? And it is to me. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one in the planet just sees it. The lower you go in rating, the worse the players are. Therefore, you cannot expect them to play well. There's just going to be a bad standard of play. It's not ELO Hell. There's no such thing. It's just that there are bad players, period. That's it. End of story. The higher ELO you go, there's still bad players, but we don't call it ELO Hell. We just call it a bad player. That's it. That's all it is. And if you are good enough to carry, you will go up. It's that simple. Always has been, always will be. That's how we've got to Diamond 1. That's how people get to Challenger. They are good enough. They, the individual in solo queue, can say, I'm better than everybody in this game, and I'm going to carry the game no matter what my team does. Yes, there'll be some games that you just automatically lose and you can't help. That happens to everybody. As someone who was Chaox, I always use this quote, it's quite a good one though. Chaox was coaching some fellow a while ago, and he said 40% of games you automatically win due to the enemy team having trollers, rages, feeders, etc. Whatever that bracket of whatever is in ELO Hell, quotation marks. And then the other 40% you automatically lose because you'll have the troller, rager, feeder, whatever that, you know, that bracket is. The 20% left. That 20% is what can make you go up. That 20% is the 20% you need to carry them games. And if you're good enough, you will go up. If you're not good enough, you will stay the same or go down. Pretty much that's as simple. Now, I mentioned something earlier about streamers and how streamers have given basically a boost to ELO Hell, have fed the tank, shall I say, to people believing in it. Basically, this is... It's rather simple, really. If you're a streamer and you have, example, Odd One. When Odd One streams nowadays, he always gets between 30 and 40,000 viewers most evenings. At my time, he streams about 8 o'clock in the evening. As you can tell, I watch him frequently. He, in his games, is High Diamond 1, borderline Challenger, and you will never really ever see people trolling, raging. There is feeding, but nobody abuses people for feeding because everybody at that level realizes people have bad games. At low ELO, you know, you're not allowed one. But people kind of see this, whoa, this is heavenly, nobody's trolling. That guy's feeding, they're not even raging at him. That is the type of thing that has fed the tank for ELO Hell. Why? Because it's false, and it's rather obvious why it's false. What person in their right mind would want to be raging at somebody over the internet in front of 40,000 people, when then 40,000 people could simply make a LOL account on whatever server it may be and spam ad that person for the rest of existence of life? Nobody would want that, and that's why it doesn't happen. Now, I'm in Diamond 1. Now, I'm not going to say I am the benchmark for every Diamond 1 solo queue game in the world. I'm just stating a fact. I am in Diamond 1, and my games are, well, I'll say it, they're hell. And you may say, why am I using that word? Well, it's kind of funny that I use the word hell and we're talking about ELO Hell. And everybody says ELO Hell is lower ELO. No, it happens here too. I get trollers nearly every game. I get ragers 90% of games, and I get feeders pretty much every game. And this is in Diamond 1, so if you're in low ELO and you're saying, no, ELO Hell is just down here, it's keeping me back. It's happening right at the pinnacle of the top of the game. I'm in the top 0.3% of EU West, I think. Maybe a bit more right now, because I have actually dropped a bit right now. I'm 0 points Diamond 1, where I was about 20. And it's happening here. So I don't want to put you off solo queue. If you're someone's like, God, down in here in Silver 4, there's always trollers, rages, feeders. When I get to Platinum, it'll be better. I'm afraid to burst your bubble, but it won't. We're in... it's hard to say without offending, but I'll say it nonetheless. We're on the internet, and that's a fairly obvious thing to say. We're on the internet where there is full anonymous immunity. Nobody knows who each other is. Sure, you can find out where people live if you're really that sad to get IP addresses, etc. But for the most part, you are a shadow. You're a ghost that nobody knows. Therefore, people behave in a way that they normally never would. Now, I try to keep myself as genuine as I can, even when I'm on the internet. Even that I'm in a solo queue game and I just be nice to the guy. Sure, that does not mean that if someone does something wrong, I won't say anything. I will say something, but I won't get real life involved. I'm not going to bring someone's mum into a conversation. I'm just a nice guy. I try to be a nice guy. Sure, I've always been kind of referred to as a serious person, and I think I always will be, but I know how to have a joke. I like to have a laugh. I try not to go too far when I am in them moods, but I'm just trying to be nice, and that gets rid of ELO Hell. There isn't a thing as ELO Hell, but the speculation behind it, you'll get rid of it. So basically, just to wrap up this video, as these league discussions are kind of turning into kind of like a preaching thing from when I'm saying these words, they come out right, but I don't know how they're coming across to you guys. But basically, ELO Hell only exists in your mind. There is no such thing in the game as ELO Hell. If we all in Diamond 1, and would Platinum above really, have managed to get through the depth of the low ELO, then I think you can too if you're good enough. And that's the whole point. You have to be good enough, and you cannot blame anybody else from you not being higher ELO than yourself. If you are at a low ELO bracket, get better. Simple as that. Now you may ask how to get better. Watch stuff. Play the game. Don't blame your teammates because you won't improve like that. You need to actually take in what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing wrong, then find out. And maybe, well, I did a video about mistakes 2 weeks ago. But we'll have to see. Maybe even on my Smurf I can make a separate series pointing out low ELO people's mistakes. So anyway, I think that's pretty much this video. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. So just remember that the Smurf videos will be coming out soon. To win the HearthStone key, just follow me on Anook or Facebook, either will do, and I'll post on there exactly how I'm going to give it away. And that's pretty much it, guys, so I'll see you guys next time. Good luck in solo queue, and improve for yourself. Don't try and blame others. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.